Okay, Daniel, sorry about this long delay. We had all kinds of issues or watching your swing, which we still have. So that's why normally I do a critique of your swing and then send that, and then I do the second video, which is what I'm doing right now, but we can't get it to work. So hopefully you'll get this video, because this is the most important one anyway, because it shows you what you need to do. So first off, what I want you to do, and I'm starting out inside here because it's dark out right now, but I'll move outside in a little bit. But what I want you to do is when you hit balls, I want you to put a rod down and point the rod, this rod, right at the target that you're hitting towards. And then I want you to put this one, put another one down parallel to it. Okay, so you've kind of got these two here, and then you can set up in your parallel. Now, at address, you should be able to see your left arm above your right arm and both your knees if you're looking into a mirror or the camera. Not this way. Okay? So you want to have a good setup position from the front view here. You want the ball position straight down from your left ear with your iron clubs. You want your hands on the inside of your left leg, right here on the left thigh. Okay? So that's your setup position. Okay? Now, you have a tendency to take the club back with your hands and arms, and the club kind of hands went out, and the club got really closed like this. So what we need to have happen is we need the hands to be moved by the turning of the body. So the way you start your backswing, if you put a club across your shoulders like this and bend over and have a little bit of tilt to the right, you need to make sure this left shoulder works around more level, not so much down like this. So it needs to work around this way. Now it'll still go underneath, it'll still come down a little bit, but it has to go across your stance. So the drill I want you to do is I want you to sit up against a wall with no club. Take your normal golf posture that we just talked about, touch the wall lightly with your backside here, and then what I want you to do is I want you to practice turning your hips and sliding your right pocket right here to the left like this, towards the target. And I want you to turn back and touch the wall with your hands like this. You might have seen us do this on Instagram before, okay? So I want you to do that. I want you to hold that position for about 3 seconds and do it again. And what's going to happen is this hip is going to move this way in the backswing, okay? And the upper body is going to be tilted to the right. It's going to maintain the tilt. So once we can do that without a golf club, then we add the club. And if you take the club inside, you bang into the wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn and we're going to touch the wall like this, and we're going to get into that really good backswing position. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like from the other view. But this is important. So you have to understand that the golf swing starts with a really good setup. The second part is pivoting properly with your body, getting your hands in the right position, but more importantly, getting the body in the right position. And that's what this drill does for you, okay? When you do this, it might feel as if your right leg is straightening up some. That's okay, as long as your upper body stays tilted to the right and doesn't lean forward. That's called a reverse pivot, no good, okay? So let me show you what it looks like from the other view. Okay, so from here, you would take your setup, you would turn and touch the wall, okay, and then hold that position for a few seconds and do it again. I do sets of 10 of those. Now I'm going to do it with the golf club. As I turn, I'm not going to go out here. My hands are going to come in and I'm going to hinge the club up. So the club is going to be hinged like this as I'm turning. So that's what keeps it from going inside. So I'm going to turn and touch that wall. Okay, so that's, and this is going to stay in contact with the wall the whole time. I'm going to turn, touch that wall, I'm going to hold it, then I'm going to start again. I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do several of these, maybe 2 sets of 10 or what a day if you can, to really work on getting that club in the right position, okay? So that's huge, because that sets you up for a really good downswing, because you've maintained the tilt and your hands are in the right place. Now you can come down into the ball from a better direction, okay? So I'll show you the rest of the drills as soon as it gets light here. another good takeaway drill is set up in a doorway or where there's an edge of the wall. Stick your toes out past the edge like this. And then I want you to practice turning and touching the club to the wall. Don't let the club head hit like this. So you're going to turn and touch. Start over again. Turn and touch. Hold that for a second or two. Try to make sure the toe of the club is straight up, not like this. That's closed. You're going to turn, touch that wall. Okay? So just do, again, doing sets of those, 10 of those. It looks like this right here. Turning and touching. Okay? Don't let the club head go in behind the wall there. Okay, and you do that in a doorway actually. We'll work on the takeaway part. Just let the shoulders turn this way and set the club properly. Okay, so part one was the setup. Part two was that back takeaway and that backswing, getting in the right position. Then the next part is coming down properly. And what this is an impact bag. I don't know if you don't, I'd highly recommend you get one of these. You can put it up against the shaft, or if you don't have any place to stick a shaft in the ground, you can set it up against a wall or a leg of a chair. I want you to take your setup. I want you to make that good backswing like you're touching the wall. But then from there, we're going to move those hands toward the bag. We're going to move them toward the bag. And we're going to hit the bag and make the bag go to the right. Okay? Not like this. That would be the wrong way. Okay? We want to take it back, good position, and then we want to try to keep our back. Keep your back to the target and let your arms come down like I'm doing here. Okay? And so when you hit the bag to the right, you can see my shoulders are pointed to the right. Don't hit it with your shoulders like this. Okay? If you hit the bag and the shoulders are pointed left, it's no good. That means you're trying to hit it with your shoulders. We want to hit it with our hands. Okay? Alright, so we hit hands and arms, I should say. Alright? So we're trying to make the club head swing to the right. And at the same time, what I want you to do is rotate the club face. Okay, I don't want you to hit the bag with the club face like this. I want you to hit the bag. I want you to try to twist the golf club like that, because what's going to happen is you hit the ball to the right or swing to the right, the ball's going to go there unless you let your wrist twist. So I want you to go ahead and start practicing just like this right here, letting your wrist turn over so that you can see your fingertips here, and the end of the golf club is pointed at my belt buckle like this. What I don't want you to do is swing over here this way. I want you to swing out or out to the right, and at the same time I want you to let this twist very early. Don't wait till you get down here and do it, it's too late. The feeling has to be right away. But when you twist it, your hands have to keep going out in front of you to the right like this. That's going to produce a shot that takes off to the right and has a nice draw coming back. Okay? You're going to try to hit the bag with the toe of the club. This is the toe, right? We're going to try to hit the bag with the toe first. Like that. Okay? Now, notice I have the shaft in the ground at the target. This one's parallel. I take this noodle and I stick it in the ground. And all this is a golf shaft that has one of these swimming noodles on the end of it. You could put it in a stand bag if you have a bag that has the legs on it. You could stick that in the bag. But what you do is you set it in the ground and you come up underneath of it until it touches like this. Then you take a little step forward and you put a tee down. So I'm going to put a tee in the ground. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another tee and I'm going to mark the spot and I'm going to mark it. And then I'm going to take a third tee and I'm going to put it out in front to the right of about 1 club head. Okay, so now what happens is my hands have to go under this. We use this road cone right here, so the edge of this is right on my toe line. So you can see right on the edge of my toes. I can't take the club in. I have to go under this with my hands over this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to swing down and knock the 2 tees out of the ground. Okay, and what this is going to do for you is it's not going to let you come over the top like your old swing. You're going to have to go back underneath, and then you're going to try to go over with the club head and then come underneath on the way down. And we're going to practice swinging out to the right. Alright, now when you first do this, you might miss the tees, you might hit the ground fat or whatever. But just keep your hands moving and keep pushing them to the right, and pretty soon you'll start finding the bottom with these tees here. Okay, and even if you're on a mat, you can still stick this in the stand bag, come up under it, and then practice doing the same thing. If you have an impact bag, you can turn it up on its side like this, and then what we're going to do from here is not hit the thing. So we're building a swing path, kind of an exaggerated one from the inside out, okay, which is what you need. Because as soon as you use your shoulders from the top, you're going to hit this, the club is going to hit that. But if I can stay back here and swing through, and I'm looking from this view, my head will stay back and my hands will swing out or out to the right, okay? So, lots of one-handed swinging with your left hand, letting this twist point right back at your belt buckle, okay? And if you're twisting your wrist, the ball's going to draw every time. It's going to have a hook or it's going to draw. So we just have to get the combination of the swing path from the inside and get our wrist turning so we can get that ball drawing, okay? So this is what we call a feedback station. And you really, if you can swing in here and hit balls, you're doing it right. You can't do it wrong in here, per se, because you bang into this stuff. So it's higher quality of practice versus just trying to hit balls and trying to think about the things I'm telling you, okay? Okay, so I would work against the impact bag, setting up, like I'm touching the wall. I would hit the impact bag to the right. I would work on my wrist action. Okay, you can take a golf ball, put it in your left hand. We don't have any balls right here because we're just opening up, but if I put a ball in my left hand and I have my ball palm down and then I come through and I open my hand up like this, I can hold the ball or balance the ball in my left hand. Okay, and coming through like this to start training your wrist. This is called a flip release. That would drop, the ball would drop out. If I come through and hold the ball in my hand, that would be the proper release with my hands forward of the club head like this, okay? So you need to educate your hands, but you can only do that if you're coming down from the right angle, okay? Coming down from this shallow angle where the shaft is coming in more from the inside, all right? So it's the combination of getting set up, making a good pivot, and then coming down feeling like your back is staying to the target as long as you can. And you can see how free my hands and arms are. Most people are very tight and they hit it with the shoulders, which is kind of what you have a tendency to do. Okay? One other drill you can do is hold the club upside down, hold your left arm out like this, get in your golf posture, and swish this up between your neck and shoulder. But don't let your arm move. So your arm is going to stay here, it's going to turn back, you're going to swish this up between your neck and shoulder like this. And what that does is that gets your arm firing down without your body opening up. And you can do that with two hands. You can just swish it and let it come up between your neck and shoulder. Okay, at the same time you're letting it rotate. All right, so work on those things and we'll go from there.